Hello again, and thank you for joining me. Well, lots to show you in this month's show. Just been doing a bit of pricking out of my lavender seedlings, and they're coming on nicely. We've been doing a lot of work on the stream, and I'd like to thank my son Joe for coming round and helping me with the hard work on that. It's really going to look fantastic. Also started clearing out the raised beds, getting those weeded and tidied, ready for planting out with some great crops for this year. So that's just a few of the things that I've got lined up for you in today's show. So just before we start, I'd like to say a big hello and a big thank you to the new subscribers that have recently joined the channel. I hope you're going to have some great gardening and we can grow happily together. Anyway, without any further ado, let's crack on with a year gardening for April 2024. Well, here we are in the area that was the stream and is now starting to be filled in rather nicely. The area that I'm in now is going to be seeded with grass, and it's going to give me a nice wide access through this area of the garden down to the greenhouse polytunnel and the beds down there. And this side's going to be planted with pollinating seeds. And then the lavender stream is going to run up to the top of the garden. So we're really cracking on well with this. I'm leaving this for a few days just to settle and bed down. It's going to take just a little while. I'm going to keep walking across it, and then I'm just going to seed out the grass first of all, and then the pollinating seeds will go in the side as well. Great advances here, and my son's told me he's going to come back and help me do some more over the next few days as well, which I'm really looking forward to. Just whilst I'm in this section of the garden, time to take a breath and enjoy the beauty around us and how this Amanita tree has really flowered. It's absolutely looking gorgeous, and it's just a joy every time I walk out of the door and see the garden. It really makes me happy. I thought I'd share that with you as well. I was just passing the beautiful blossom on this peach tree, and I was reminded that one of the ladies at church asked me about planting blueberries. Now, I'm not planting any this year, but I did plant some last year. So here's a little video from when I was planting blueberries this time last year. Well, forgive my Latin, but it's time to give a little bit of planting time. Victorium corymbosum, I think it is, but very often known as blueberry. Now, I'm going to plant a couple of little plants here. These have been soaking in this water for about 20 hours now. They're bare root plants, and there's not a lot on there, but we're going to hope they're going to live. Now, I did explain they're easy to grow, but they're hard to grow. You've got to grow them in the right soil. Now, what I've got here is a mixture of some leaf mulch from the rhododendrons and the Christmas ferns and some ericaceous compost as well. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to basically fill the bottom of this pot with a little bit of soil. Make sure this is broken up nicely. Oh, isn't it lovely to feel the soil in your hands? Yes, lovely. We're going to pop this in here. Make a little spot in the middle for the plants to go. And that is going to sit inside here. Then I'm going to fill around the plant. Get this nicely firmed in, and then we're going to fill that completely with this ericaceous soil. It's very important that you use the right soil for the right plant. And blueberries are an acid loving plant. So if you don't grow your own leaf mulch, then just use some ericaceous compost. That is absolutely fine to do. And we're going to just firm that down, give the roots a good chance to grow there. Now, one of the problems that I have found with some people is that they don't fill the pot. Your pot is designed to actually come to the top. So fill it to the top, and then once you've actually got that in there, grab yourself some water and then water the plant in. It's not an issue. We'll water that down, let that live, and then we're going to grab second pot, do exactly the same thing with the second plant. They're going to stand at the top of the steps there. Well, Joe's been back working on the stream in the garden, and what a lovely job he's made of it. So all tidied up, all put away and ready to move on. Well, I've got to get these raised beds weeded and tidied and ready to take the new plants that we're growing in the greenhouse. We've got beans and courgettes and things, but I've got to get all of this weeded, cleaned, turned over, some new organic material put in there as well, and maybe a little bit of fish blood and bone just to help fertilise the soil as well. So fair bit of work to do on this bed and the two behind me to get them ready for this summer's planting. So fair bit to do here. Let's just go and have a little look in the greenhouse. Well, quite a lot going on at the moment. The first lot of courgettes here are growing quite well. We've got some more seeds I've got to bring down and plant, which are a round courgette. They'll be fun to grow. The tomatoes just coming through here, and this is the first of the climbing beans. And here we've got some cucumbers coming through as well. This here are my lavender seedlings, and they look as though they're coming on rather nicely, and they're all in individual plugs, and hopefully once they get to around about 5 or 6 inches we can plant those out as well. But we've got a lot more seeds to plant. Now, I don't know whether you see, these are the calcots that we planted last year. They're like a Spanish spring onion. They're absolutely gorgeous in salads or in stir fries and bits and pieces like that. Really lovely. And there's one more thing I just want to show you down here whilst I'm in here. These are my cauliflowers, and I've got to get a bit of feed on them. There's just the start coming in the middle here. A little bit of flower coming in there, which is nice. So hopefully we're going to have some nice cauliflowers coming on these. I'm going to watch the snails keep coming through here and having some of the leaves, but I don't mind losing a few leaves to those. But these are coming on well, and going to give us some nice food to get chilled down and into the freezer, which is a very useful thing. Right, well, let's pop back up to the top. Well, I thought for the end of today's show we'd come inside and sit in my lounge and just sum up, because it is blowing a gale outside and the sound of the wind across the microphone is just a little bit much. However, just to sum up today's show, we've had a look in the greenhouse. The work my son has been doing in the garden, up the stream, absolutely fantastic. And that's now going to be ready in a couple of days' time for me to start putting seeds down and getting things ready there. The whole garden is really, really coming together so well. If the dry weather stays for another 3 or 4 days, we can actually go into the front garden and start sorting that out, because that is still so wet. As soon as you set foot on there, your foot is sinking into the ground and it's just too wet to do anything still. However, I'm sure the rain is going to stop very, very soon. And that's all we need to happen. So, the end of the show. Thank you very much for being with me today. Greatly appreciate it. And remember, hit the like button, hit subscribe. We need everyone on board to take this project forward. And I'm just so glad to have you with me on this little journey. It's now just over 4 years since we've been doing this little project, and it's just moved on so much. So in the next show, I'm going to bring you some of the shots from early on in the project and compare it to how it looks today, because I think the difference is outstanding. Well, that's it for now. Thank you ever so much for being with me. I'm going to leave you with my few normal words. Stay safe, stay well, be kind to each other, happy gardening, and with a small glass of Cabernet Sauvignon, cheers. Happy gardening, everyone.